Evening's basketball game. We're going to pause for a few moments and talk about the season in general with the coach of the Indiana University basketball team, Branch McCracken. Branch, has the season up to this point gone pretty much as you expected it?
Yes, I think so, George. It has developed Illinois and Iowa, the two outstanding teams. They both have veteran ball players. Their experience has shown they're two outstanding basketball teams. Of course, some of the other teams have come along in good shape. I think it's gone pretty much the way we expected it to go.
Have any of the teams we've played so far this year been something of a surprise to you, one way or the other?
Well, Ohio State has an outstanding basketball team. I think this boy Freeman is very good. He's one of the finest shooters that I have ever seen.
I've seen him once or twice, and it's almost phenomenal the way he hangs up there and shoots before he comes down.
He's terrific, and the boy has developed that by hard work. He's practiced the year round.
What would you say some of our most significant improvements or developments in our squad have been so far this year?
Well, George, of course, we've had a young team. We've had a group of sophomores. They've come along on defense. They've come along fast on their offensive play. They're just not any substitutes for experience. This league is one of the toughest leagues in the country, and that experience means a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter how outstanding a high school ball player he's been. It's almost a different game in the Big Ten, really.
Well, basketball from high school to college, it's a big adjustment. It's the same as scholastic standing, their schoolwork. It's a terrific adjustment for a boy to come from high school and step right in college basketball. It's a different game.
Well, I guess the most significant thing that we could talk about right here, I suppose, would be to look forward to next year. How are we going to shape up?
Well, of course, you hate to make any predictions, long-range predictions, but I expect these boys to be a lot better next year. I know that they've learned a lot from this year's play. We have some sophomores, will be sophomores next year, freshmen this year coming up that we expect to help us. And I always look forward to the next season.
Whom do we lose this year, besides Wally Choice? I suppose is the outstanding loss, being a regular.
Yes, we have 5 seniors on the team, and they're all a fine group of boys. They've worked hard to make this a successful season, and we're going to miss them. This is a question I'll ask, but I don't guess I'll get an answer. How do you suppose we're going to shape up next year in the conference? Well, that's hard to say. We could come along and be a very strong team next year. We could be up around the top, or something might happen. There's a lot of things that affects the basketball team, a lot of psychological angles that could throw us a little haywire. You never know what's going to come up. But of course, I expect to be a lot better next year than we were this year.
Iowa and Illinois are predominantly upperclassmen teams this year. Losing their starters by graduation, is that going to knock them out of contention, do you suppose?
Well, they lose some good boys. Iowa, they have a senior group. Illinois has a senior group. I hardly expect them to be as strong next year as they have been this year. I'd hate to think that they're both going to be as strong next year as they have been this present season.
Gets a little monotonous, doesn't it?
That's right.
On the other hand, I expect people at Iowa and Illinois get a little sick of seeing us come around year after year after year, too. They'd kind of like to think something happened here.
Well, we've won a lot of basketball games in the past 18 years. And what I tell my boys, I say, when you put that Indiana uniform on, it's just like waving a red flag. The coach doesn't have to give his team much of a pep talk.
That's right.
Just say we're playing Indiana tonight, and those boys come up for it.
If I had $1 for every team that saved their best game for us, I could buy Mr. Allen that new field house he wants.
Well, I expect you could help on it.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Branch, for dropping by this evening. I think certainly we can close this interview on a very optimistic note. Predominantly an underclass basketball team this year that gave a very fine account of themselves, and you know they're going to improve next year. So thanks again, Branch.
Thank you, Johnny.